Tonight, I saw Scream 7. Not so much. Terrible, awful, no good, very bad movie. And we knew that going in. We've known this was going to happen. Essentially, you could say since November of 2023 is when this movie was doomed. Let's just go back and start from there. Let's go back even further, actually. Let's go to Scream 5. You know what? Let's go back to Scream 4. 2011. Great movie. Emma Roberts is brought in. New life. Exciting. I love Emma Roberts. I think she was so great in that movie. She's great in Scream Queens. I think that it's just her genre. Underutilized in this franchise. And the plans were that Emma Roberts was going to be the star of like a second trilogy after Scream 4. Like they were going to have her survive. She was going to get away with the killings, which would have been awesome, which would have been so exciting. I just wanted to touch on that because I think that would have been awesome. Jumping ahead to Scream 5. 2019, was it? I'm trying to get this up just so I could look at it. I think it was 2019. I thought it stunk. I thought it was terrible. I thought it actually sucked. Super boring. I hated all the new characters pretty much. I hated the new gang. It wasn't any fun. It wasn't any the Billy Loomis aspect was terrible. The whole come on Samantha, come on Sam. Let's just go hack these fools up. Let's just grab a knife and start killing fools. Like her having the visions was ridiculous. It was stupid. It was silly. But Scream 6, sorry folks. Scream 6 I loved. Scream 6 I think is great. And it's because it feels so fresh and so new and so young and exciting. It's electric, the installment of the franchise. It's a lightning rod of the franchise. Because they had Jenna Ortega, Melissa Barrera, and the other two, Chad and Mindy, the core four, the new core four. They didn't have Neve Campbell for Scream 6. They had Courtney Cox for a little bit. Dewey died. And it was the best one in a while. It was the best one, I think, since... It's like my second or third... It's my third favorite one, I think, Scream 6. I think it goes 1, 4, 6. But after Scream 6, everything was actually looking pretty good. They had like I said, they had a new cast. They had the next generation. They had the new breed. They didn't really need Neve Campbell. They would have liked to have her back. They planned to have her back anyway. But they showed that it could stand on their own. How much did Scream 4 make at the box office? Honestly, what I'm interested in. Not a hit, 97 million anyway. Then we fast forward to when did Scream 6 come out? This is a disaster. Scream franchise. Scream was 2022 and then 2023. They pumped those things out. Good for them. That's impressive. But then we jump ahead to November of 2023, just 7 months after we're riding high. Scream 6 came out. It made $170 million. After the one before that made 136. So we're trending upwards. Jenna Ortega stars on the rise. And then it was all over because they fired Melissa Barrera after a month into the Israel-Palestine war once that was a month after the attacks in October. Melissa Barrera was like, it's weird how she's posted on her Instagram story, or she said, I have it written here. I don't have it written down actually anywhere. They're only showing you the Israeli side. You have to wonder why is that or something along those lines. And then she got fired for that because they said she insinuated that Jews control the media, which, they certainly don't if she's getting fired for asking why that is. But anywho, then the next day actually, Jenna Ortega drops out. And they say it's because of scheduling conflicts with Wednesday season 2, which nobody believed. I know somebody who was born yesterday, and they didn't believe that. And she even came out, I think it was like a month later, and she was like, "No, I had to step down because everything that was happening with Melissa." And am I getting that right? Is it Marissa? I always get nervous about it. Melissa. She was like, everything happening with Melissa and the creative team. I'm not going to come back if the same team isn't going to be there. Big props to Jenna Ortega. Not sure how great she is. She's not the biggest star. This isn't the Jenna Ortega deep dive, but good for her in this scenario. Jumping ahead, what do we got? So they bring back Kevin Williamson. He was the original writer-director, I believe. The original writer. he wrote, this is the first one he's written since. He wrote Scream 2. And he wrote Scream 4. So, decent. He was the guy, he was the one who was gonna, that was his Emma Roberts plan. Anyway, they bring him back for Scream 7. That's announced. And then it's announced, I want to fly through this. Then it's announced they're bringing back Neve Campbell. They settled those negotiations. She was all proud of herself for squeezing out $7 million. She got lowballed. If you're Neve Campbell, there is no getting lowballed at this point in your career. If they were offering you $10,000 and free lunch every day on set, I mean, you're Neve Campbell. Just be happy to be working. I know it's Scream and it's technically your franchise, but people are there to see Ghostface. People aren't there to see Sidney Prescott. Sidney Prescott's such a boring character. We'll get to that later. Nobody really goes to these movies. Maybe I'm getting ahead of my skis. Sidney Prescott is not the draw for, if you're asking me. Anyway, they get her back, and then also was announced Matthew Lillard is going to come back. What is coming back? What's coming back? Is it Lillard or Lillard? I always feel like I'm getting it wrong, no matter what I say. Lillard. Matthew Lillard. Why am I saying Lillard? Who's Lillard? Anyway, they announced Matthew Lillard was coming back. I don't like Matthew Lillard so much, the actor. I think that he's very Reddit. I think he's very cringe. He just annoys the hell out of me. And he died. He died in Scream. A TV was dropped on his head. He was stabbed. He was losing a lot of blood, man. He's dead. We don't need to jump through these hoops and have these supernatural activities for Stu Macher to come back just so we can get Matthew Lillard back for Scream 7. We're already really pushing it with, I don't even know what his name is. What's Buddy who plays Billy Loomis? I'm not even going to look it up. We're already pushing it, bringing Billy Loomis back for flashback, for like vision scenes. We really don't need Matthew Lillard. But no, Kevin Williamson said, I got this script that I had to rewrite without the two sisters. So this is the time. I know exactly the way to do it. And he said, we're bringing Stu back. And then we were off to the races. And the first trailer came out, I don't know, but it looked terrible. It looked like piss. It looked like it was filmed within like one room. It looked like there was shit on the lens. Not so much in the Scream 4 way. I was going to say in the charming way like Scream 4. But Scream 4 was good. And it had life. This just looked bad. It just looked lowbrow. It looked simple. It looked cheap. It looked low quality. It looked like a knockoff. It looked like a parody of itself. It looked like a stab movie. And that's what it ended up being. This movie ended up sucking. Let's jump right to it. This movie blows. I had very low expectations. I was saying that I think this had real worst movie ever potential. There's going to be plenty of spoilers for this movie. Let's say it right now. If you're trying to not get Scream 7 spoiled for you, I mean, wrong place, because we're doing it now. I heard beforehand that Stu was AI. AI Stu was the bad guy. Or at least Stu was portrayed as the bad guy through AI. And that made me sick. I had no hopes for Matthew Lillard, or Stu's character anyway, coming back. I had no hopes really for this movie. But hearing that, it was just like, what are we doing? Like, AI in the Scream movie is already like, fuck you, Kevin Williamson. Like, shut the fuck up. I know you created it. But I would like 5 minutes alone in a room with him. And just my fists after I heard that. But in the fall, it was just so stupid. Like, he's FaceTiming Sydney. Do we really need that? Do we really need, like, it just sucks. Who wants to see Matthew Lillard so bad? There's no other avenues to see him. I know he's actually, no, there really isn't any other avenues to see him. Do you ever think there's a reason for that? Anyway, it's just so stupid. It was so stupid. And the ghost faces. The ghost face. Yeah, I'm working backwards here. It starts out okay. I'm going to start from the top. I think the first scene in the Scream movies is probably the easiest one to nail once you really sit down and focus on it, and like, because it's the most fun. You're like, let's just bring this character or characters in to kill them. And they had Jimmy Tatro. Jimmy Tatro's in the trailer. Tatro, I love him. That was a great way to draw me in. That was almost like jingling the keys, and it worked. But the first scene was nice. It was kind of scary. Scream movies are never overly scary. Scream 6 had some scares. It was pretty brutal. This movie had no scares. It sucked ass. The first scene was good. I liked it. It was fun. Jimmy Tatro is very good. And then after that, it was just so boring. Like, it goes to Sydney, and How many different stupid little careers has she had? She was a writer. That's the only other one I can think of. But I mean, I feel she was in college. She was a student's career. Um, but I feel like we do this every movie where it's like, oh my God, Sydney's just trying to readjust to life from the last time. But in this one, they really couldn't do that because she wasn't there the last time. There's just so much between Sydney and her daughter, between like the daughter character is just like, oh, fuck you, mom, you bitch, leave me alone, slamming doors, storming off. So annoying, like the most stereotypical character ever. Does Kevin Williamson have a daughter? I don't think he does. What I'm assuming here. He's gay. He might have a daughter. There's no assumptions there. It doesn't say anything. Williams is gay. He came out to his friends and family in 1992. Good for him. That's the only thing in his personal life. I find that interesting. He writes teenage daughters terribly. So I don't believe that he has. I don't believe that he's a daughter. Is my assumption. What am I looking up here? Was I really going to look up if Kevin Williams had a daughter? Anyway, the whole relationship between Sydney and the daughter was just so stupid. They rely so much on that. Like they really want you to care about that. There's a scene where the daughter comes downstairs. Well, she's in a fight with her mom, but she's like, "Oh, I'm wearing your old jacket," and she comes down just wearing a black leather jacket. And the music, like something hits in the score, and Sydney's like, "Why are you wearing that? Or where did you find that?" And it's like, "Oh, I'm wearing it in the attic. I was looking for old clothes in the attic, and I found it. It's vintage." And it's like, "Oh, I guess she's talking about the jacket." And it's like, "Oh my God." And the dad's like, "Hey, come on, maybe you should be wearing Sydney's jacket." And everyone looks at the camera, and it's like, "Is this an iconic thing?" I'm gonna look it up. I have my laptop in front of me, so I'm just gonna be incredibly ADD as I typically am. Sydney Prescott jacket. It says jean jacket when you look it up. All the pictures are from Scream 7 of her in the jacket. They tried to create like an iconic thing. Anyway, it's terrible. It is so terrible. And Sydney is, like I said, she's like the worst character in this franchise. It's like a Luke Skywalker thing where Luke Skywalker is the most boring character. Every time Sydney's like, she spends the first half of the movie moping around, which sure, someone close to her usually dies, and folks are all over her trying to kill her. But she spends the first half of the movie like, "Oh my God, I can't believe this is happening to me. We gotta get out of here." And then it's like, "I'm Sydney fucking Prescott." And it's like, wow, great. I'm just bored by her. I was nice to not have her because she's not gonna die. They're not gonna kill off Sydney Prescott. She wants that sweet moolah. She's just fought her way for this payday. She's not gonna allow them to kill her off this time. She just bores me to death, Sydney. Like the sit down interview with Gail. Like we've been doing this crap for 30 years. We had fresh blood, and now we're just taking 5 steps back, and now it's like, wait, Sydney has a daughter who was her age during Scream 1. Isn't that interesting? Isn't the dynamic, you can see the dynamic there? You can see how that's a little bit ironic. But no, it's just painfully boring. I almost said pissfully boring. It's pissfully boring, and it's offensive for everyone that had to sit through that. Gail Weathers is fun. Courtney Cox is like not the greatest in the world. Her plastic surgery does look better, I think. I think she's aging into it maybe more. I don't know. I thought it looks better. I think I'm usually hard on her, and I called her Ghostface herself when she showed up on screen. But I was quick to judge, and I thought that she looked better, like her plastic surgery. Maybe that's rude to comment on, but I like Gail Weathers. She's a good character, and she's a lot of fun. She's loads of fun. She comes in, she's like Mo Green, where she's just high energy, having fun, calling people out. And it's just a good time. Like Gail being there, her in Scream 6, I thought was a good fit. Like it was, Dewey was gone. We didn't have Sydney, but I liked Courtney Cox. I like Gail with the new crew. Would have been fine if she died, but she's good. She's great. I like her much more than Sydney. I was going to say she's my favorite of the old cast, but I'm such a Dewey head. They advertised Dewey. He's on the poster. No, he isn't. I thought his name was on the poster. Is it even in the bottom? Stay with me, folks. McKenna Grace was good in this movie. She could be a star. It's early, but she's doing everything. So like everyone's getting, yeah. David Arquette, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11th build. Build ahead of McKenna Grace. Build ahead of Jimmy Tatro. I mean, he was in one scene. I need a haircut so bad. I need a haircut really badly. I'm thinking about just cutting it myself. But the last time I did that, my mom was like, immediately she was like, "Do you cut your own hair?" And I was like, "No, what am I, a moron?" But I so did. And I did a decent job, but I just didn't cut enough off in the back. We're not doing that now. I need a haircut. Like David Arquette, you don't have to bring him back. The whole AI element, it was just so stupid. AI is a plot point for movies. It's typically stupid. Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die in theaters now. Great movie. Watch the review. But in Scream, in a Scream movie, in a slasher movie, I just want to see teenagers hanging out. I guess they don't have to be teenagers. That was really creepy. I just want to see a group of people hanging out, talking about how crazy it is that there's situations happening again, and pointing fingers at each other and talking about scary movies and having fun and some kills. But no, we got Sidney Prescott's boo-hoo hour. We got the family melodrama between her and her daughter Tatum. We spent the whole movie, for some reason, explaining why she's named after Tatum. And it's like, hey, I didn't just name her that because it's my dead friend. It's actually, I liked my dead friend. There's actually reasons why I liked my friend. I hate the daughter element. I can't get into that. I can't rip on that enough. I don't even know the point I was making. It's just so boring. This movie is just so dull. There's no fun. There's no hanging out. There's one scene where they bring in Chad and Mindy. Chad and Mindy, why are they there? Have a goddamn spine. What are their names? Mason Gooding and Jasmine Savoy Brown. What were you paid? $500,000? $1 million? That's a lot of money, actually. Who am I to say that? Who am I to say no to that? I'm not going to find that information online. But like, you guys can get work elsewhere. You can't support your friend, your castmate, and you need to have this terrible role in this movie. Scream 7 salary, Mason Gooding. This is not something I'm going to be able to find. No, it definitely is not. But like, they bring these two in, and they're just Courtney Cox's. They're just Gail Weathers' lackeys. They're just like her mouthpieces. It's like they're like Nash and Hall. Like, it just makes no sense. Like, they're just like, oh yeah, we record for her, and the girl, or should I say the she/them, if you had your 4K, if you had a 4K screening and you were sitting very close and you stood up and you squinted your eyes, you could have seen her she/they pin. Pride. This movie is very woke. Good for them. But she just wants to be a newscaster now. And like the Chad is just like, oh, I'm just here for the ride. I'm just a wacky, like they have nothing to do with him. Chad was a cool character. Chad was funny. He had some good lines in 5 and 6, but they have no spot for him. Like, they couldn't retcon 5 and 6 fully. They couldn't just delete it, but they didn't know what to do. They would have been better off just not including. They shouldn't have even offered them. There was no reason for the studio to bring them back. I guess it's like, oh wow, they were loyal to us, so good on them. But there was just they were out of place in the movie. It felt like, and there's one scene. They do the one scene where it's like, these are the rules of the scary movie. It's like, it can't be you. You're too obvious. Well, what about the boyfriend? Well, what about you? Well, where did you just go? You got to do this. You can't go here alone. And those scenes are usually, that's like almost the heart of Scream, where it's like, it's very easy to be cringe in those scenes. I think in Scream 5 it was cringe, but in this one it was just lifeless. Like the hanging out parts, like they did it like an hour and 25 minutes in. Like, we got the gang together. It's like, all right, so we have the weirdo kid who I'm not even really sure who he is. We have the daughter who sucks. We have the daughter's friend who, like, had 1 or 2 scenes before. The more fleshed out character was the daughter's friend that died. And then we have like the boyfriend who's like what was that AI story? Like he had to test the AI and had to make sure he could do it. And they were just like, oh, okay, I guess we had to just like take his word for it. Looking back, like we just had to believe him. Stupid, awful character. The gang was just so sad. It was such a sad gang, and it was almost a perfect encapsulation of the movie. It was just a thrown together blob of random characters, and it was almost like they didn't know what to do. And the guy had 2 weeks to write it, and this is what he came up with. He ran with the AI stew and was like, "Oh wow, maybe if he's using AI stew, I would not be surprised if he used AI to write the movie, or to like come up with the ideas, just because it's so bad and it's so bland, and the guy is a moron." I'm only saying that because of this. I appreciate all of his other work. Is there anything else I have here? Um, yeah, the killer reveal. Let's just like the ending is just a disaster. You can't even say a disaster because disasters are exciting. You can't even say a train wreck because something at least happens and the crowd at least yells. It's like a silent. It's like when you try to hold in a fart, but shit just starts running down your leg instead. I don't know if that's ever happened to me. It sounds too specific for it not to have. But or it's like when you're going to fart and then you don't actually fart and nothing actually happens, but there's just shit running down your leg and you just shat your pants. That's what the killer reveal was. It was just left everyone like no reaction or anything. Everyone's just left with shit running down both of their legs because it was so boring and bland and dull and terrible. Like, oh, it was the neighbor. That's weird. Like I don't care about this character at all. And then the other one is, oh, is the guy from the psych hospital. Like, what? These, if you, the first one, it's Billy and Stu. Awesome. The fifth one, it's one of the roommates. It's one of her best friends. It's Jenna Ortega's best friend. In the sixth one, it's the cop, the roommate, and the other guy. It's like, in the fourth one, it's Emma Roberts. And the third one is the movie producer. The second one I think stinks, and the killers make no sense. But in this one, they come out of like it's like they put every character in a hat, and they just pulled them out like these are the killers, and then they had to come up with reasons why. And the reasons why, I feel like they've done this like a few times already too, where it's just like, oh, we love this story, we love stab, and we love horror, so we're crazy. And it just doesn't work. Obviously, it's stupid. Like I don't need to see 45-year-old Anna Camp doing the monologue at the end. It just wasn't worth it. And it's not believable as well. Her as Ghostface. The thing about Ghostface is he takes it. He throws a lot of punches. I didn't believe either of these folks to physically be able to hold their ground or give an offensive or defensive game. Anything else written down? That's kind of it. The movie's just so stale. It is just so boring. It's so boring. There's nothing exciting. There's not one exciting scene. There's not one. The first scene, eh. No, the sixth one. I mean, you had the subway scene. I thought was awesome. Even the closing scene, I think, is pretty good. Like the closing sequence. The scene in Gail's apartment, I think, is kind of scary. The fifth one. These are the last two I watched, which is why they're so on my mind. There's some intense stuff in the fifth one. The fifth one, it gets intense. The third act of the fifth one is very good. But this movie, it's just so boring. It's so dull. There's a gross kill. There's a couple gross kills, actually. Some props. There's a couple gruesome kills. There, the knife through Jimmy Tatro's face was awesome. What was the other one I thought was good? The McKenna Grace one was good when she was swinging. What was the next best kill? They had something. This franchise had something. They had fresh life. They had a story going somewhere with these two sisters going through all this. And Melissa Barrera, like I don't know why I throw two B's here, Barrera. But she just keeps stabbing these people 30 times at the end of every movie. And like, oh, that's something. But now they just couldn't. And now they had to take 30 years of steps backwards to go. Not even 30 years, I guess. They had to go back to like Scream 2, Scream 3. They had to take like 24 years of steps backwards to end up with Nev Campbell and Courtney Cox being like, oh man, can you believe that we're still friends? Can you believe we're still putting up with each other? Me and you. And it's terrible. This movie sucks. The franchise is doomed. Neve Campbell has an idea for Scream 8. I can't imagine how offensive and stupid this is gonna be. It's gonna be. I could see this being she's the killer one. If it was her idea, where she's like, "What if we make me the killer?" Like that's the last. Like, and then like also, what if I get $20 million? Because this movie's gonna be huge, and I'm turning heel. That would be interesting. The only two interesting things is if she's the killer or if Chad and Mindy are the killers. But no, actually, this franchise is dead in the water. I wish they would just let it die at this point. Thanks for watching, folks. I don't have much else to say except don't go. Oh, I have to see this movie again. I was thinking at the end, I closed my eyes during the last like 4 minutes. I probably got like 2 minutes of shut eye. But I was thinking during the whole like the third act, I was like, I'm gonna have to see this movie again with my dad on Monday night. I think, which is such a disaster. Not that I don't love going to the movies with my dad; it's the best. But having to sit through this movie a second time is gonna be complete torture. It's not the worst movie of the year. I mean, I'd have to sit down, but it's gonna be hell. It's such a joyless movie. Having to sit through this movie a second time will be torture. But the things we do for our parents, folks, isn't that something? Isn't this a beautiful world we live in? Uh, thanks for watching. You're better off watching this review 5 times than watching Scream 7. It's a long hour and 54 minutes, so it feels like 3 hours. So maybe watch this video 6 times. Better off doing that than wasting your time with this movie. Like and subscribe. Comment down below. Thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in.